You're moving to Rhode Island, or maybe you're even already here and you just want to upgrade. Either way, you've got a kid, maybe two, and you're Googling things like best schools in RI, or safest towns, or how much house can I actually get for my money. I'm Nick Slocum, and my family has been selling real estate in the state for over 75 years. I know every one of these towns personally, and today I ranked them. Not by vibes, by data. Schools, taxes, home prices, safety, commute, lifestyle. A 100-point scoring model. 39 towns evaluated, and 10 made the list. So let's get into it. A quick note on how this list was built. Full disclosure, the scoring model behind this list was built with the help of AI. I fed it RIDE school data, state tax records, MLS sales numbers from 2025, and FBI crime stats. The AI analyzed all 39 Rhode Island towns against the same criteria. No favorites, no gut calls. I just checked the math and stood behind the result. Here's how the model works. Every town in Rhode Island was scored across 7 categories. School data comes from RIDE, Rhode Island's Department of Education, with RICAS proficiency scores. Tax rates were from the Rhode Island Division of Municipal Finance. Home prices and sales volumes from the MLS. Crime data from the FBI. Every town scored the same way against the same standard. One rule to qualify. The town had to have at least 75 home sales last year. That filters out beautiful but illiquid markets where you probably could never actually find a house to buy. So you ready to jump in? Let's start with number 10. Westerly. Coastal value with low taxes. Westerly sneaks onto this list because of taxes. $7.11 per thousand is among the lowest residential rates in the state. And you're buying on the coast, and with Watch Hill down the road and Musquamacket Beach is your backyard. Schools came in at a B with around 32% math proficiency, right at the state average. Westerly is not a school district story, it's a lifestyle and a values story. If that combination works for your family, the numbers support it. Number 9, South Kingstown. South Kingstown scores well because of taxes. $8.94 per thousand is near the bottom of the state. You're getting access to URI, Wakefield's Main Street, and some of the best trail and kayak systems in Rhode Island. Schools came in at 40% math proficiency, above the state average of 31%. South Kingstown High earned recognition from RIDE for academic improvement, and this town is certainly trending in the right direction. Number 8, Smithfield. Smithfield doesn't get talked about enough. A- schools, ranked 9th in Rhode Island by niche, median home price under $530. That combination, good schools at an accessible price point, is genuinely hard to find on this list. It's not a waterfront town, but the commute to Providence is straightforward on Route 7 or 44. You're going to hear a lot about Smithfield over the next 5 years. Number 7, Cumberland. Cumberland does a lot of things right and doesn't charge you extra for it. B+ schools with 50% math proficiency, well above the state average of 31%. Taxes just over $12 per thousand. With 315 sales here last year, you can actually find a home in this town. It's not flashy, but for a family that wants solid schools, a safe neighborhood, and a home they can afford, Cumberland delivers without the drama. Number 6, Portsmouth. Portsmouth is on Aquidneck Island, and people assume that means expensive and inconvenient. It is more expensive, but inconvenient? Not if you work in Newport, Middletown, or you can work from home. What you can get for a median sales price of $745 is A-rated schools ranked 5th in Rhode Island, waterfront access, and a community that's small enough to feel tight-knit, but large enough to have everything that a family needs. Portsmouth High ranks 4th in the state, according to US News. The bridge caveat is real. Know it before you commit. But for the right family, Portsmouth is a special place. Real quick, if you're doing this research right now, I want you to have something useful. I put together a free Rhode Island town comparison guide. Every town on this list, the school scores, the tax rates, the real market data, the link's below. It's free, grab it. Also, if you're new here, feel free to subscribe. We do these kind of videos every single month, talking about the real estate industry, neighborhood breakdowns, and actual market data. All right, let's jump into the top 5. Number 5, East Greenwich. East Greenwich has a reputation and the data backs it up. A-rated schools, East Greenwich High ranks 2nd in the state by US News, and a downtown that looks like it was designed by somebody who actually cared. It's quintessential New England. Main Street has real restaurants, real shops, and a community that shows up. The tax rate is the highest on this list at $15.57 per thousand, and the median sales price was nearly $900,000, which is certainly going to stretch some budgets. But if you're going to buy into one of the best school districts in New England, not just Rhode Island, for the right family, the premium is justified. Number 4, Narragansett. $6.79 per thousand for the tax rate. That's the 4th lowest rate in Rhode Island. And you're living on the coast with A-rated schools ranked 3rd in the state, 50% math proficiency, and access to some of the best beaches in New England. The median price reflects that, just under $933, but when you run the actual annual tax bill versus somewhere like East Greenwich or Barrington, the math starts to look very different. Narragansett is an efficient town and the data rewards it. Small district, about 1,100 students, 11-to-1 student-teacher ratio. If you want your kid to be known, not just a number, this might just be it. Number 3, Lincoln. Lincoln scores the highest commute rating in the entire state. You are sitting at the intersection of 95, 146, and 295. Providence is 20 minutes, Boston's under an hour. If your family has 2 earners going to different places, Lincoln is a logistical gift. A- schools with 45% math proficiency. The median price came in just under $550 in 2025. Lincoln is criminally underrated, and the numbers prove it. It ties Narragansett on the model at 79. Narragansett is a coastal lifestyle story. Lincoln is a value and access story. 2 very different families, and both can win here. Number 2, Barrington. Barrington is the gold standard of Rhode Island public schools, and it has been for decades. 63% math proficiency, 69% in ELA. That is double the state average. Every metric you look at, Barrington is at or near the top. The tax rate at $15.34 is high. The median at $750 is certainly real money. But if schools are your number 1 priority and budget is not the limiting factor, Barrington earns its reputation. No argument from me here. Number 1, North Kingstown. NK scored highest in the state. Not close to the top, the highest. And here's why that number makes sense. $11.04 per thousand, meaningfully lower than Barrington at $15.34. A-rated schools ranked number 2 in Rhode Island, 52% math proficiency, 56% ELA, both well above state average. Median sales price at about $650 last year, safety in the top tier statewide, and a very convenient commute, both to Providence and Boston if need be. But here's where the data can't fully capture. North Kingstown has Wickford Village, one of the most beautiful, historic, waterfront downtowns in all of New England. It has beaches, marinas, and a pace of life that makes Rhode Island worth living in. Barrington wins on schools alone, North Kingstown wins on everything else. And it's close enough on schools that for most families, the gap doesn't justify the premium. The smart pick might beat the prestige pick. That is why NK came in number 1 in these rankings. Quick honorable mention, Warwick. Now I have to talk about Warwick because Warwick did not make the top 10 by 1 point, and it was entirely because of schools. And I want to be honest with you about that. Here's what Warwick's actual scores looked like in this model. Maximum safety score, maximum commute score. WalletHub ranked Warwick as the number 1 safest city in America in 2025. Housing value came in at 19 out of 20, second best in the entire state. The only category it missed on was schools, where RIAR data showed 22% math proficiency against a statewide average of 31%. And here's something the data doesn't show yet. Warwick has approved 2 brand new high schools to be built, and that is a 9-figure investment into this city's future. Our office has been based in Warwick for over 75 years. Warwick's our hometown. We serve throughout all of Rhode Island, southeastern Massachusetts, and even eastern Connecticut. Quick recap. 10 towns that earn their spots based on real numbers analyzed with AI, validated against local knowledge. North Kingstown are number 1 because it does everything well without asking you to pay a premium for a single category. One more thing. This list is built around public schools. If private schools are on the table for your family, that conversation changes completely. Towns like Warwick, Cranston, and Providence look a lot more interesting from a value standpoint when you factor that in. If you want to see how any of these towns compare for your specific situation, I have a link in the description for the full data comparison guide. Every category, every score, free. And if you're ready to actually start looking, that is what we do. My team has been doing this in Rhode Island for 3 generations. We know the streets, we know the sellers, and we know how to get you into the right town for your family.